He owned nothing, wrote nothing, held no office. He walked the streets of Athens in the same worn cloak for decades, stopping strangers to ask questions they did not want to answer. In 399 BC, the most powerful democratic city on earth made him drink poison, because a man who asks the right questions is the most dangerous thing alive. 25 centuries later, we are still living inside the world his questions built. Socrates was born around 470 BC in Athens to a stonemason and a midwife, not nobility. He fought as a soldier in 3 campaigns, noted for courage and fearlessness, saving the life of the general Alcibiades in battle. He was not removed from the world, he had stood in it, but the battlefield that consumed him was not made of swords, it was made of conversation. First lesson: the most powerful weapon available to a man is a question asked at the right moment. Socrates did not teach by telling, he taught by asking relentlessly, until the person either arrived at real understanding or was forced to confront that they did not know what they thought they knew. He called it his gift to Athens. The city called it corruption. The Socratic method is still used in law schools and philosophy departments today, not because he wrote it down, but because the people who witnessed it could not stop thinking about it. Ask better questions of the world, of the people around you, most importantly, of yourself. A friend asked the oracle at Delphi who the wisest man in Greece was. The oracle said, Socrates. Confused, Socrates went to the men considered wise in Athens, politicians, poets, craftsmen, and what he found every time was that these men believed they understood things they did not understand. He concluded something that changed philosophy forever. He was the wisest man in Athens because he was the only one who knew nothing. Second lesson: the beginning of real intelligence is the honest acknowledgement of what you do not know. The man who performs confidence he has not earned, who speaks with certainty on things barely examined, is the Athenian politician Socrates' question: comfortable, certain, wrong. Intellectual humility is not weakness. It is the only honest starting point. Socrates believed that the purpose of a human life was not comfort, not status, not the accumulation of things. It was the care of the soul. The unexamined life is not worth living. A man who moves through his days without examining what he believes, why he acts, what he is pursuing, is not really living. He is going through motions someone else designed. Third lesson: examine your life regularly, ruthlessly, without assuming you are already doing it right. Most men never do this. They accept the goals handed to them at 20 and arrive somewhere they never chose, wondering why it does not feel like enough. At trial, he had been given every exit: stop questioning, leave Athens, propose exile. He refused all of it. He told the jury he would never stop, that this was his service to Athens, that a man who abandons his post out of fear of death was no man at all. The jury condemned him. He accepted it. On his last day, surrounded by his friends, he spent his final hours in conversation about the soul, about what it means to have lived honestly. He drank the hemlock, walked until his legs grew numb, lay down. He died as he had lived, unafraid, entirely himself. Fourth lesson: know what you will not compromise on, and do not as a performance. Because the man who abandons who he is to survive the moment ends up surviving as someone he no longer recognizes. He did not die for an idea, he died because becoming someone other than himself was a price he would not pay. He never wrote a single word. Everything we know comes from Plato, Xenophon, and Aristophanes, who mocked him in a play, and in doing so proved how seriously Athens took him. No books, no institution, no army. He produced thinkers, and those thinkers built a tradition that shaped science, law, ethics, and education for 2,500 years. Fifth lesson: the most durable thing you can build is not a structure or a body of work. It is a way of thinking that other people carry forward after you are gone. Socrates is dead. His questions are not. They are in every serious conversation about how a man should live. In every person who has stopped midday and asked, "Do I actually know this? Or do I just believe it?" That is Socrates, still asking. He owned nothing, wrote nothing, commanded nothing. They made him drink poison because he would not stop. 25 centuries later, the questions he asked are still the most important ones available to a man who wants to live honestly. The unexamined life is not worth living. Start examining.